Hey, it's Carl, and today we're going to look at what everybody ought to know about retirement income math because it matters. And let's jump right into a case study. Let's say we have a husband and wife who are both 60 years old. They both want to retire at age 66. They have $600,000 in their 401k or IRA, and they have small or maybe no pension at all. So they know they're going to need some income starting in 6 years to supplement their Social Security when they stop working and stop getting a paycheck. So they're wondering for their income that they know they're going to need starting in 6 years, do they want to set up their own personal pension or do they want to keep it in the stock market? So, for the first bit of math, we need to figure out how much income they're going to get so we have a starting point. For that, we start with our Income for Life spreadsheet. This is the software we use where we map out all of your income sources for the rest of your life. We get down your Social Security, any pension income, any annuity income, and we start getting you some totals so you can see if there's any gaps or shortages that you need to address. The software also allows us to troubleshoot what happens if one of the spouses passes away. Our studies show that when the husband passes away, the wife's income generally drops by 43% because she loses the lower of the Social Securities and oftentimes part of the pension. So this allows us to troubleshoot what's going on and get us a starting point. So they find out that they're going to need an extra $24,000 a year in retirement income when they retire. So let's look at what their options are. First, option one, let's look at a personal pension annuity. What would happen if we move 400,000 of their 600,000 into one of these personal pension annuities? Well, as you'll see in a second, they know starting in 6 years they'll get $24,505 a year guaranteed no matter what the market does, up, down, or sideways. And they'll get that income for as long as he's alive, as long as she's alive, and if there's a balance, that'll pass to the kids. That also leaves them 200,000 left over, and they can invest that however they want long term because they know their income needs are taken care of for life. So how do we get those numbers? Well, there's lots of different companies we use, but these days people seem to really like this Mosaic index from JP Morgan, and I'll show you why. Here's the last 17 years worth of data. This is what your lump sum gets to link to. This is your growth engine inside the account. You get to link to this green line. This is the Mosaic index, and here's the data for the last 17 years compared to the S&P 500 over the last 17 years. And since this is a principal protected product, even if over the next 17 years, let's say it goes down in value, you don't lose anything with the market going down because you're principal protected. But so this is your growth engine inside the account. Now, let's take a look at the income. So when you get an illustration, there's lots of different pages with disclosures and all the details. But let's make this a little bigger. We get down your age and the amount you want to deposit and what type of income you want, joint or single. And what I like about this one, this has to do with the Mosaic Index, which we just looked at. Including any fees for the income rider, they let you know what's the net return of your lump sum account over the most recent, the best, and the lowest 12-year periods. And you're in the 4.5% to 6% range. So it's modest principal protected growth on your lump sum account. Then we get down to the income, and let's go down a couple pages here. And first we're going to start with the guaranteed page. This is the guaranteed contract minimum. We're going to assume that Mosaic that we just looked at, we're going to assume instead of going up like it did, it earns zero over the next 30 years. So we're earning zero for the entire length of the contract. What happens? Well, here's where we get that worst case scenario, the $24,505. So even if the market tanks or stays sideways or goes up, they know their worst case scenario is they're going to get $24,505 every year for as long as either one of them are alive. Now, if they're withdrawing $24,000 a year and we're earning zero, they're going to deplete their account balance down to zero, which you see over here. So even if we deplete the account balance down to zero, they keep getting their income for as long as they're alive. If you're in mutual funds and you go to zero, there's nothing left. If you're in the bank and you go to zero, there's nothing left. If you're in this and you go to zero, you keep getting your income for as long as you're alive. Now, this is the worst they can do. They could do better than this. If the Mosaic Index performs like it has over the last 12 years, here we're showing if the last 12 years repeats itself, what would they get? Well, starting at 6 years, they get more income, actually $31,000 plus. So if the Mosaic does well, they'll get more income. But they know their worst case scenario is $25,500. So this is the income that they'd get for the rest of their lives as long as either one of them are alive. And if there's a balance, that'll pass to the kids. So that's where we get the numbers from. Okay, so let's just look at the worst case scenario. They know no matter what happens, they're going to get $24,505. Off of the original investment of $400,000, that's a 6.13% withdrawal rate, guaranteed for as long as either one of them is alive. Okay, that's important math. Now let's look at option two. What happens if they keep it in the stock market and mutual funds? Well, everyone's heard of the 4% rule. So let's say they use that. They're going to withdraw 4% a year when they retire. So if that's the case, they would have to use their entire $600,000 at 4% to get them the same $24,000 in income. That means all their money would be at risk. And that could work out great, or they could run out of money. Now, they have no idea what their account's going to be worth in 6 years. They have no idea how much income that they're going to get starting in 6 years. And using mutual funds, they have no idea how long that income is going to last. So to help us see how long that income is going to last, we're going to go to this CNBC chart. And you can find this on our website. Okay, this is a portfolio checker. So let's say they have a 50-50 portfolio, 50% stock mutual funds, 50% bond mutual funds, 50-50. And they start at a 4% withdrawal rate, which is the orange line right here. You can see, look at the failure rate, 57% over a 30-year retirement. So if they use mutual funds to take out that 4% withdrawal rate, 57% of the time, they're going to fail and run out of money. Okay, if they want to increase that to a 5% withdrawal rate, or let's look at a 6% withdrawal rate. At that same allocation, 50-50, there's a 94% failure rate if they take out a 6% withdrawal rate. So that's the risk you run using mutual funds for your retirement income, is you have a failure rate. In this case, a 50-50 portfolio, 57% failure rate. And you can go, I'll give you the link to this, you can check out your own portfolio and see what your failure rate could be if you decide to use mutual funds. So let's go back to our example, okay? And let's summarize a little bit. If they choose option one, or setting up a personal pension, they only need to use $400,000 of the $600,000 to get the income they need, and they have contractual guarantees on that income. That leaves them $200,000 left over for an emergency fund, or they can invest it however they want. If they choose to go with option two and keep it in the stock market, they need to use the entire $600,000 to get that same $24,000 in income, and there's a 57% chance it won't work and they'll run out of money. Okay? So that's the math behind retirement income. So if you're even just a little bit curious about how one of these plans could look for you, or any of the things that I just talked about, there's a link in this email where you can use the CNBC portfolio checker. There's another link where you can request a personal pension illustration based on your age. We'll get you some numbers on what your income could be. Or if you want to request it, we'll run an income for life spreadsheet where you can see all of your income sources for the rest of your life on one piece of paper. All this is complimentary. Just click on the link, fill out the form. We'd be happy to do it for you. So hopefully this math made sense, and you can see how important it is. And the decision you make on how you want to get that income, that's going to affect things down the road. So take care, and we'll see you next time.